Okay, just making a quick video here on how to order the stencil required to assemble the Pusher V3 board. So right here we're in Eagle. Just wanted to show you the design here real quick, and we're talking about the stencil. And I generated the stencil Gerber file from the CAM processor here. And as you can see, this is the solder paste top file, and that includes the dimension and T-cream layer. We also have a solder paste bottom file as well, but there's not too many parts on the bottom, so we're going to hand assemble those parts. So let's go over now to the Gerber viewer, and I just want to show you what that looks like. This is the top paste file, and it just is going to include basically the cutouts for all of the surface mount components on the board. And again, if you go back here, I made a video a while back on how I do assemble boards with surface mount parts, and you can see the stencil right here. So this is the stencil. That's what it looks like once you get it. And I will make videos on the whole process on how to put together the Pusher V3 board. But this is just to kind of give you a heads up on what this stencil does and where you get it, how you order it, and so on. So, and this of course is a stainless stencil, which is usually what I use. Let's go over to the wiki board here for the Pusher board, down to V3, going down a little bit. You see I've got the parts list, and I also have the stencil Gerber file right here. And I don't know how I actually uploaded that. Hopefully it's in a zip file. I think I did zip it up, but either way it should be in a zip file because that's usually the way a lot of these websites like the file to be uploaded. So here are the three that I've used in the past: Electro Dragon, PCBWay, and Pololu. So right over here at Electro Dragon, I also order boards from them as well. And by the way, while you're over here, you might as well pick up yourself a couple ESP8266 modules. So there's the ESP-12S, and this is the one I've been using lately. They also have the 12F, 12E, and I think they have the new one as well with the Bluetooth Wi-Fi combo. But so anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. If we go over to projects, service, over here, PCB service, stainless, this is where you go, or the PCB stencil service, this is where you order the stencil. You can also order boards as well. So they've got a batch service, which is nice. It just takes forever to get boards. If you need them in a hurry, you can do the standard service over here. And I might do a video on that as well, but usually I'll order my stainless stencil and boards using the batch service. That's how I've been ordering boards for years through these guys. So if we click on stencil, you can see it's pretty straightforward. This obviously will only need the 10 by 10, and it's going to be a top side. You select the file. I usually don't confirm because I check it with the Gerber viewer just to make sure everything makes sense. And I have had issues too by looking at this. Like sometimes one of your parts doesn't have the T-cream layer active or never was created, so you'll have issues there. This board also contains jumpers and solder jumpers, and I actually for this had those jumpers filled in by default, so they had a little cutout for where the jumper is, so the paste would go right over the little solder jumper, and that was an error. So I fixed that up. But anyway, no need to confirm and then add, and you can see it's basically $15 total. And then we go over to the cart. I already have this added in, and they have the eBay ePacket shipping, so it's like $3, so your total's like 18 bucks. And that's a stainless stencil, and that's what I used right here. So you can see it's a very high quality stencil. Now you can also order it from PCBWay, and that's actually what I'm doing with this batch of boards. And the reason for that is because the Pusher V3 board is a 4-layer board, and Electro Dragon does not have a 4-layer PCB service. So I went to PCBWay, and they just so happen to also offer stencils. So you can see, we'll just kind of go here. We're going to do the non-framework because we don't need the big frame or anything like that since we're doing this on the bench. We'll go to quote now, non-framework, and I would leave the thickness at the default settings. You could also, which is kind of cool with them, is combine top and bottom stencils into one if you wanted to, or have two separate stencils. So that's kind of neat, you know. So you could use that same stencil twice. None there, and then calculate. Now with these guys, the shipping kind of gets expensive. So let's see, if we go to ePacket, it's still kind of expensive, $31. They also have this SF Express, which is only $7. So maybe that's something. I don't know. I've never tried that before, but that looks like that would be the cheapest option out of all of these, at least shipping to the US. Yeah, it looks like, well, I don't know what that would be. DHL, yeah, obviously pretty expensive. So once you go and add this to your cart, sign in with an account, then you upload the solder paste file and then check out from there. The last company I use is Pololu, and I've used them in the past. They are local here in the US, so you can go to SMT Stencils over here on the left. They do their stencils in a mylar. It's like a plastic. It's like it kind of reminds me of a transparency sheet. So it's a very thin piece of plastic that they laser cut out. I've used these stencils in the past and they do work, but they're very flimsy. So as you're sort of applying the paste here, you can see I'm applying the paste. I'm not very steady with it. And right here at this part with the flimsy plastic stencil, this is where it's critical, and it's nice to have the rigid stainless stencil because it doesn't warp on you or flex at all. It just kind of goes right up. So, you know, as a last resort, I would go with the plastic stencil, or if you need it in a hurry. And as you can see, it's not any cheaper, really. It's $25. I think I may have actually added this to my cart, but yeah, $25 or so, and then it goes up from there based on size and how fast you need it. So just wanted to throw this in there as an option, but pretty much that's all there is to it. So once you get the stencil on order, you get it in like that, and we will talk about how to sort of actually work through the process of applying the paste and soldering and all that stuff. So we'll get to that in future videos, but I wanted to make a dedicated video here just on ordering the stencil.